Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the new week. I'm Dan from Trading with Dan, and this is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin charts. Yes, the Bitcoin on the 4 hour, we are still operating within this small range we've got here, where obviously you can see we've had this previous price action, had a nice little foray to the upside. Above 49,000, that was swiftly rejected back down, and we just found ourselves back within this very narrow short-term range, which is pretty much this is the resistance or support area. It's sort of the mid-range of our wider range. So obviously we are currently trying to make the decision of, are we going to break above this and trade to the upside, at which point we've realistically got to look at tapping 53,000 before we'll get there, and then I mean, what I mean to say is tap that, and then we just decide at that point, do we break above and continue upside, or do we get rejected and then play some downside, or do we lose this level and then come down, and we could even get as low as back down to the bottom of the range, or we could in a more ideal world, get back down and get supported around 45,000, sort of print that inverted head and shoulders and then move back on upwards. So I think that's the decision. I think we may get led by what happens in the stock markets and the dollar. There's more obviously China company FUD going about, but I do think the market as a whole is coming around to the fact it's not potentially as big a deal in the immediate term as it was initially was looking with the price action of obviously not just the Chinese markets, but other markets like the UK markets, and well, not the UK. I said the UK, the US markets. I don't even know what the UK markets are doing. I don't think they're even on my list. It's not even on my list. I don't even look. The pound's not on here either. Anyway, yeah, so we are basically looking to make a decision. We're pretty much the midpoint-ish of this $41,000 to $53,000 range, and we are looking to then, we break to the upside, do we come and test the top, or do we come back down? And coming back down, like I said, I don't think it has to come and test all the way down the bottom. I think we can just then come and test this support area we've got here. So yeah, interesting times. If we look at some of the other charts, we have got the Ethereum Satoshi pairing looking like it is trying to put in a higher low here, relative to obviously these lows here. Just put in a higher high, just about, but this is looking better. I mean, realistically, we want to get a clean break above all this kind of previous price action, get trading into this range, obviously then take out this horizontal, and then we'll be on our merry way. The USD pairing as well, it is, as you can see, at an important level of resistance, where pretty much if we break through here, get into this area, we should be on our merry way. I mean, obviously a few little levels of significance will draw them in, but these won't. I don't think there will be nothing that will stop price action going onwards and upwards. Let's just get this last one on. They will just be short term. I think this is the major area realistically to get above, and then once we get above here, like I said, we're pretty much in the clear. But we could see, just extend this along, we could see more stock market shenanigans this week, and find ourselves back in this range. And obviously then we've got to hope we then have another shot at breaking above and not obviously lose the support of that range. Bitcoin dominance, we'll just have a glance at it. So yeah, still climbing its way up. Not managed to break down this well, we can call it support now. Not managed to break back below this level. 10-year drifting around, bouncing obviously off this important level. Get back below here and things may start to not necessarily spook the market, but it's no real surprise seen as bouncing off this level here. And yeah, could we just continue upwards from here? Could this be a potential sort of bear flag or descending channel? It very easily could, and this could continue on upwards, at which point we'll have all sorts of all sorts of mess going on in the markets if that is to play out that way. Also the DXY. DXY obviously easing off from the level that to me is looking like a gooder place as any for a nice medium, even long-term reversal downwards, down to the bottom of the of the trumpet of the ascending broadening wedge, and then ideally breaking that and then continuing down. I mean, the first level of importance is obviously this one here now. If we get below here, then it will start to look good for a move down. Obviously getting supported or turning back up at any point above here would look bullish, and then yeah, maybe we come and test the top again. Maybe we even break out the top. You can break out the top of a descending broadening wedges, obviously. Obviously, I just didn't need to say that. Obviously, it goes without saying. But yeah, I mean, if we do, and then we take out this horizontal here, then yeah, I mean, we'll be looking at higher prices. And probably, I would say, sorry, I've still got this cold. I would say an acceleration of high prices, but this is quite an acceleration of the price anyway. So yeah, we shall have to see how this plays out. But you guys know my bias, my view is that we will see weakness in this. But hey, if there starts to be all sorts of FUD for all sorts of global markets going around, then yeah, I mean, realistically, the dollar could rally. Obviously the dollar is an interesting this DXY for certain is an interesting concept. Is obviously the dollar against other currencies, and then obviously a large narrative for dollar weakness is the money printing. But obviously if you look at if you listen to some of the works of, I think it's Jeff Snyder, he'll tell you a lot about how that isn't really that important. Creating bank reserves is not that important. That's all the Fed does. It doesn't really create real money. But obviously, if the Fed becomes more politicized, if they have this central bank digital currency and they start to directly give people actual money, that is real money. That is money. That is not bank reserves. So yeah, that could really start to weaken the dollar. And obviously, the dollar is sort of any market is a prediction market of what it thinks could happen, what that price would be if that did happen, and then what the probability of that the market excesses of that happening. So it is sort of a weighing, a balancing, a prediction market. So if there is this risk, obviously, of new Fed chairs, basically direct monetization from the Fed, just basically the Fed giving people money, that clearly is massively bearish for the dollar. And then you just have to then decide what are the chances of that happening are, and then obviously then you get price somewhere on the spectrum between obviously where we currently are and where that will take us, based on the probability that you attach to it. But I do think there is an increasing probability of this, because the financial system in the world is in a bit of a mess. Wealth inequality is just like going off the rails, and I think all these champagne socialists, stroke communists, stroke fascists, stroke whatever you want to call them, ultimately they're just authoritarians of one flavor or another, or basically want to do wild stuff with the currencies and the financial system, which they don't really fully understand the implications of. But I mean, some of them used to be bartenders, so I mean, what do they understand about anything other than yeah. Anyway, I used to be a bartender actually when I was at uni as well. So yeah, but I'm not in the US Senate now. But anyway, let's go and have a look at this S&P, because I mean, this I think will be the defining factor for the direction of crypto, whether we do break onwards and upwards towards the 50k plus, or whether we do break down, come and test 40, maybe even break 40, because this is clearly looking quite bearish. We've got to get back above this level here. We tried once, we're backing off it, which is fair enough on our first attempt, but we've got to turn this back around and get back above, just call it 44, just to give us a nice round number, get back into this zone, then we can start to potentially stabilize. If we keep coming down here, I mean, we're just looking at taking out this low, and then realistically the target is down here. The target is down here, and then obviously nice bounce there probably, and then we've got to then turn it back around. Otherwise the next level is is down here. So let's just extend this along. But yeah, but like I said, I am generally bullish on risk assets into the end of the year. I don't think there is it is as bad as what people suspect. We are going to have just a blow up of the system at some point, but it's much like the shorting the bond market, the widowmaker trade. I mean, these markets can stay irrational for longer than you can stay solvent. So just work on the assumption that we're just going to go on and upwards forever, and that's probably your safest bet, and has been for like the past however many decades. So let's also now look finally at in fact, let's look at NASDAQ real quickly. NASDAQ, like we looked at, bouncing off this pretty important level. It has got to really turn this around. Otherwise, well, we're looking at down here. But this is pretty much gonna follow, obviously, loosely the overall direction of stocks, obviously, because they are stocks. But this 10-year as well. If this 10-year does basically get back below here and start to trade lower, then the NASDAQ will recover pretty quickly. So finally, let's have a look at the stochastics. 4 hour, bullishly resetting. 4 hour coming down, so obviously downward pressure from that. So obviously it will keep coming down and then eventually turn back up. And then if we are in around this same level, it will give us extra impetus to try and break to the upside. The 10 hour, we shall await this 10 hour to load. Yeah, 10 hour turning down from a quite high level, so we could obviously have downward pressure from that also. 12 hour similar read as well, so that could turn down from a high level. So these are potentially looking like they could basically drag us down. Obviously best case would be a bullish reset, whilst these come down and price action kind of drifts where it is. Daily still looking good though. 2 dailies obviously still going to be looking good. 3 day looking to turn back up. 5 day looking to turn back up, but not currently. And weekly, weekly actually coming down a bit here. Bi-weekly looking good. So, I mean, like, it is highly speculative and highly crystal ball just to kind of look at things, but I mean, it's like I sort of subconsciously do it just from looking at so many charts over so many years, but it just would look nice, wouldn't it, to us to come back down to around this 44 or 5,000, turn back up, then come back up and take out the neckline of, at which point everybody will be talking about an inverted head and shoulders. It would look nice. These stochastics are kind of telling us we could get this sort of medium-term weakness. Stock markets are a bit jittery, but obviously if they do reverse and continue straight up from here, then it is going to be pretty much a bullish impetus for Bitcoin, and obviously bearish for the DXY as well. So it is an interesting week. It is an interesting week ahead that we have. So it'll be interesting to see how it breaks. Which direction it breaks in. So yeah, there you go. This is not financial advice. Remember guys, I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.